everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cienna Pilotin, joined here by Greg Salas. And exciting night, you know, Hawaii just got the 36-7 win over Northern Iowa. And, you know, these teams have only played together against each other once. So not much to really go off of, but Hawaii kind of had a great all-around game. 529 yards to Northern Iowa's only 199 yards. What do you think led into that?
I mean, I think the boys did a great job of preparing. I think it all starts with preparation probably this week. You know, having a focus on emphasis of cleaning up what mistakes they've made in the past this year, but then obviously the run and shoot looked like the run and shoot tonight. It looks like they spread the ball out tremendously. I mean, I think Shager only had like 8 incompletions. That's what we call efficiency. That's what you want to see out of the quarterback position. He did have 2 turnovers there that we want to have back.
We can talk about that.
To clean up some of that stuff. He also took some hits that, you know, we got to tell him to get down, learn how to slide, maybe get with Rich Hill, practice sliding into second base there, Braden, because we need you healthy, buddy. So just an overall great performance. I think a total complete team domination, which you want to see.
Exactly. And one of the things you brought up is Shager spread the ball around. He got all his receivers involved, including one, Jonah Panoke, you know, one of his go-to receivers. We have his touchdown here, so we'll show it to you guys, and Greg can kind of give his input about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, you'll see him here if we can keep replaying this, but this is just a cover 2 hole shot. It looks like he probably has to mandatory outside release. He gets a clean release, beats him with speed, and then Braden obviously just slings it in there. You'll see here, outside release perfectly. Doesn't really get touched by the defensive back, and if you don't get your hands on him, then that's what it's going to lead to right there. So great execution right there. That's a high-level play, especially by the quarterback, to be able to keep his eyes on it, realize that the safety is not getting over there in cover 2, and then threading the needle right there. And obviously, great catch, great finish by Jonah. Speaking of Jonah.
Yeah, we actually have Jonah here, so he can kind of talk a little bit about that play, but the overall game in itself. Give us, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think that was a great team win. You know, we this past week we just really watched film and see how we could do better from last week, and just emphasizing on, you know, the small details and being disciplined. You know, so just proud of my boys for coming out here and you know, just changing the tempo, and our emphasis this week was just, you know, push the ball and, you know, try to get the defense tired, and so that's what we did. Proud of them. Yeah,
what did you see watching film on them this week on Northern Iowa? Did you guys anticipate how they were going to play? It looks like they were playing really soft on the outside, allowing you guys some free releases. You can see Shager to the open field hitting you guys on some, you know, some bang plays where it's anticipation, 6-yard hitches. Did you guys kind of expect that for them to play soft on you like that all game?
We did. We knew they weren't going to play press man, and so, you know, we put in a lot of curls this week, and you know, we had another play we put in this week, and where we knew that they were going to play inside leverage, and we had to attack their leverage to get open, and you know, Pofele got in for a touchdown, and so.
Yeah, and I think we actually want to show that because we chatted about that a little bit, right? Where with the play, I don't want to give away the play name, but it's a play that we used to do back in the day, but you guys put your own twist to it. So I think Pofele actually scored on this, but maybe you can, because I think this is what the fans miss is, you know, we see Ashlock here at the touchdown, awesome, great play, great execution, but, you know, this doesn't happen without you on the outside. So maybe you can take the fans through what you did here to get Pofele open right here.
Well, for me, I knew that the nickel was going to turn towards me, and so I had to attack his leverage, kind of keep him, get his attention, and then run the corner so I could try to take 2. And then Nick Cynical kind of had to go down, attack his man, get his attention, do the out, and then that opened it up for Pofele.
Yeah. So that's awesome, right? We call that taking 2, like you mentioned, eating up two players with just one, right? So obviously you did your job here, and that's why this play works. And, you know, the fans don't see it, but when you guys watch film the next day, you're going to get full marks on this because you look what you did right there. You took everybody out and allowed the out to open up there. So we can just a great play. Well done.
One of the things we see about you is you get hyped, I think, more for other people's touchdowns than your own. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what that means to you, like seeing these guys flourish. And
for me, you know, just watching the young guys kind of come in here and to see where they've come from, and, you know, I'm proud of the guys and, you know, the hard work that they put in, you know, day in and day out. And, you know, with this being my last year, you know, I'm just trying to soak up every opportunity that I have, and you know, just being healthy and just going out there and celebrating with my teammates.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know what a game like this does for you guys. We talk about like the 500 yards of total offense, over 500 yards, and seeing what the run and shoot can do. Does this give you guys a little bit more confidence going into next week, or really seeing this is what we can be doing? This is kind of what we expect to do every week.
No doubt. I think now that we can see we can put up numbers, and if we just stay disciplined, we know that the running shoot can flourish and what it's supposed to be like. And I think going into this bye week, it'll be huge for us to just go off of this film and how we can prepare for San Diego.
Awesome, yeah.
And I mean, is there anything else, like what's, I know you've been here for many, many years. What's some of your favorite memories here? I mean, this is a special senior year for you.
So far this year, I'd say we went golfing in the off season. That was a good team bonding moment.
And how are you at golf?
I'm not too bad. Could get better. I think we're supposed to go next week with Shear.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I love golf.
And then always the traveling, the airplane rides, the hotels, that's really where it starts in building a bond. So when you go on the field, you just know your brother, and you got his back and he got yours.
Yeah, and I mean, you're one of the captains this year, so that's exciting for you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, well, we appreciate you spending some time with us,
and
breaking down some film with us. But
thank you for having me.
Best of luck, man. Stay healthy, and
yes,
best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonah. Okay. All right, and we're back, guys, and so remember to write any questions you have in the chat or comments, anything you want to share with us. We will take a look later in the show and maybe answer a few, but for now, it was great having Jonah on, talking a little bit about the offense, but we got to talk about the defense. They did their job.
Yeah.
So what did you see from them that, maybe we didn't see a couple weeks before?
Well, I think we all heard about the rushing attack that Northern Iowa was going to have, and we did a great job, I think, holding them under 80 yards of total rushing offense, which is awesome. And what I saw that we did really well was limit their rushing attack on first downs. I think a team like that likes to get a nice chunk 5-yard play, 3 to 4, and then be able to do it again on second down, and then have a very manageable third down. We gave them second and long a lot of the night, and you can see how that pays dividends when a team is not being able to call the plays that they're accustomed to calling, and getting into those situations that they like to get into, those down and distances. So the defense did a hell of a job there, and I think we all saw the turnovers that were forced, right? Those guys were punching the ball, even when they got receptions. I mean, Peter had a hell of a play and pushed the ball out.
Yeah, and so let's show you guys. Peter forced a fumble, and I mean, that kind of changed the game, I think, especially so early on, giving Hawaii the ball so early.
Yeah, I mean, you can see this right here. I mean, the guy gets a completion. Nice. We're talking about a nice 9-10 yard chunk play, and then Peter's able to really have a heads-up play and go for the punch, which, that's huge, right? Anytime we get turnovers, especially when they're going into our red zone, right? I mean, we did that on the first drive of the game, too, I believe. We had a fumble that we recovered and turned into some points, which, changes the whole landscape of the game. Here, I think we already kind of had it in hand, but a great heads-up play by Peter. Just great awareness, right?
Yeah.
Like he's coming downhill and then able to get out there, secure a kind of a tackle, and then also punch the ball out, and then a heads-up play to pick it up by 26.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks like they're having so much fun out there. Look at the celebration. It's just like when you're winning and you're both sides are playing such a complete game, it's fun. It was fun for us watching.
Yeah, I mean, these are the games we like to see. I think this is the type of game that Hawaii fans love to see, right? You see a lot of action-packed plays from the offense, a lot of big plays we saw downfield to Crotus. Obviously, that guy looks like he got another gear. I think we have some highlights from him as well that we can go to, but this guy just has speed. If
Yeah.
he's a blur at the bottom of the screen. And
there he is.
I mean, we all know Braden has a cannon too. I think he slowed down for this ball.
Yes, he did.
That's the type of speed he has.
Yeah.
I mean, just an instant big splash play here.
Yeah, and I mean, great throw by Shager. Like you said, he had to slow down a little bit, but just like the field's so wide open. He had so many options tonight. You know, getting Nick Senecal involved, 2 touchdowns. Like,
2 touchdowns.
I mean, I don't know. who would've
One
saw
of
that
them is
coming.
super impressive too. I think the first Senecal touchdown when he's leaning on his back foot and throws a rainbow to him.
Okay,
I mean,
here
this
it
looked
is.
like Matt Stafford here the other day. Look at
Matt-
him on his
wow,
back.
Matt
Look at
Stafford.
this. Look at this. He's 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage and then throws a dime
Yeah.
to Senecal here. And look
What a
at this
catch.
is not how the play is drawn up here.
Oh, it
I don't
isn't?
think by any means. It
Okay.
looks like Senecal breaks it up. It looks like he has a drag route.
Okay.
And it looks like he's dragging and then just takes it upfield. Kind of like how we saw Ashlock do the other week. And look at the results here. I mean, that's just a dime
Yeah.
from Shager. And then
Right.
we can look to his other touchdown.
Yeah, let's go to the second one. Oh, third quarter.
Third quarter here, and I'd love to break this down right here too, because
Okay.
it looks like they're playing inside-out man here. So the 2 defenders are lining inside and outside of the 2 receivers here, and what they do is they just run 2 out-breaking routes so that the inside guy is wrong. You know, you can't. You have one guy's leverage is way inside and the other guy's way outside, but this guy's another kind of taking 2 people here to the corner, and it allows Senecal to just get an easy touchdown.
So, question about that. Was Senecal like his man? He knew he was throwing to him, or it was like.
You see how he's slow off the line of scrimmage and then
Yeah.
a quick break? We're expecting it, right? He wants his guy to get down into the end zone to let them back up and soften. I mean, these guys are already 4 yards to the end zone. All you got to do is get to the line and turn, pop, boom,
Yeah.
right there, right on time. Obviously, they were doing their homework in red zone, knowing that they're going to play inside out on a stack formation like this, and it's just timing right here. This is what you do, and I think this is what I loved most about tonight's offense was they knew they were going to play soft, and they took advantage of it. They were hitting holes, like Jonah said. They put in a lot of curls this week. When they play soft, cover 4, cover 3, you're going to have time to throw the football. All you have to do is, as a receiver, is run your routes and find the open spot in the defense. And I think they did that excellent tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall the Hawaii offense really embraced the run and shoot more than ever tonight, and especially getting the run game involved with Landon Sims. You know, he had a rushing touchdown, but also, you know, on special teams, they decided he can throw it now. So
There we
it was
go.
not fun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and especially special teams, Lucas Burrow, our boy, big
Every
shout
week.
out, big shout out. He is one of my favorite players because
Greg
he does
loves
such a
him.
great job
He does.
of punting. Only 1 punt tonight.
And that's what we want to see. As much as we love having him out there,
I love you, Lucas Burrow. You're my boy, but I don't want to see
we
you
don't
punting.
want to see you punting all the time.
We've seen how good you are enough, all right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, that's what you want to see as an offense. We don't want the punter to be out there, ever. So.
I agree. And I mean, it looks like we're getting a couple of questions here. I mean, towards the end of the game, they kind of rotated Alejado and John Cabezal Polutele. What was that about? Just testing?
You know
waters,
what? I just think when guys you put in so much work during the week, running scout team, taking your second team reps, doing your film study, all the stuff that goes into it. I think that's just the head coach being a head coach and wanting to get guys in the game, wanting to get a young freshman in the game, and then also wanting to get the other guys some experience. They've all earned it, essentially, and I think that's what Timmy was saying to them is, you guys have earned this, go get some reps, switch off, have some fun, get in victory formation. And you know, especially for a young guy, I remember the first time I went in there, it's garbage time. We're up like 50 points against like Northern Colorado, but to step out on that field finally in front of the stand, in front of the crowds, means so much to you. So awesome by Coach Timmy Chang to get those guys out there.
I mean, getting them out there, but rotating or, you know, changing plays, I mean, I don't know how normal that is, but that was pretty unique.
You know
on
what?
my
I've never
part.
seen the switch up, but you know what? Shout out to them for getting everybody involved and taking some snaps. I always remember my first snap that I took as a Rainbow Warrior, and I'm sure these guys
Tell us about it.
Well, I already did. I was telling you about it. I remember Northern Colorado. So it was, you know, you're just running like a go route, or you're just literally blocking. But I'm
Just
trying
being
so
out
hard
there.
to block somebody, even though we're up by 50.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just like you're just excited. To
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I'm glad you shared that story, because earlier talking to Jonah, you know, he's in his senior year. We saw him progress from when he was just a young high school kid to now, and so it's great to see these guys kind of grow up. And like you mentioned, that first play, you'll just always remember it.
Always. Yeah, never forget your first.
Yeah, and so let's see if we're getting any more questions out here. What do you think of the future of the running back room?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We saw some snaps to Cordero today, Landon Sims, David Cordero.
And I thought he did a great job of running the football. I mean, it's not something that we do a ton of, right? And I think what I'd like to see that we've done in the past a lot is the shuffle pass, finding a way to reincorporate that into the offense. Now, granted, we had some big bruisers back there, but Landon Sims is kind of in that mold as well. He's not quite Reagan Mauia or Nate Ilawa, but he's a bigger guy. He's a bruising back. But I loved when we were getting the passing game going and people were pinning their ears, coming down to try to get some pressure onto the quarterback of slipping that shovel pass in there. But you're going to need the running game, and I think they executed well in that. How many yards did we have running today?
Felt like a lot. I mean,
yeah, I think we had over 100. I think we had like 130 yards rushing, which is huge.
Yeah.
You want that, right? You need that complement in your offense, especially when you need to waste time on the clock, get into a 4-minute drill at the end of a game. The running game becomes huge.
Yeah.
You don't want those incomplete passes to start slowing down the rock. But I think, you like what you see. I think what we want to see is just a consistency over the rest of the season. I think this is a great one-game sample size to show the boys this is what you can do if you're executing at a high level. Now we got to do this in league now. We start with San Diego State in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think they needed this more than ever after coming off of last week's tough loss to Sam Houston. I think that was a huge learning experience. And so we can talk a little bit about San Diego State. Obviously, they'll be on the road. Hawaii struggles on the road. They're 1-12 under Timmy Chang's tenure on the road. But you as a player can give us some perspective as to what it's like being on the road.
Well, we're going to have an off week here. We're going to have a week to prepare. So I think that might have been what was most disappointing about last week's loss, was that we had a week to prepare for Sam Houston, and to come out and not execute and not look like and look the way that we did. I think that was the biggest disappointment for myself, and I'm sure for the guys, and that's why they probably had the players-only meeting to kind of take up responsibility and accountability for not being prepared. We have a similar situation coming up here against San Diego State. On the road, but we have a week to prepare for them. So, there's enough film on them now for them to kind of game plan and prepare for what to expect against San Diego State. But it's also not that far. This is as close as we can get to the islands right there, unless we're going to an outer island.
Yes.
The climate's the same. It's all very similar. Game. So, you want to go in, and I want to see them put their best foot forward against them.
Yeah, and then after that, we have a home game against Boise State, so also a big one.
Yeah, a couple schools who up and left the Mountain West Conference. That's a whole.
It sounds like you're getting a little. What's that?
They want to be the Pac-6 or something like that, I guess. So we'll see how it all works out. But this is obviously two really good teams.
Yeah, I mean, now we're in conference games.
Yeah, and I think everybody, it'll be a CBS game.
That one will be on national television.
National television.
So
awesome chance. And I know just from watching highlights and hearing about the college football landscape, Boise State's got a hell of a running back.
Yeah.
So going to have our work cut out for them. I think he's leading the nation in rushing. Looks like he's going to be a day one or day two type NFL player prospect. So it'll be fun to go against those teams. And like I said, those are the games you get up for. That's how you want to play against top competition on national television.
Yep.
Everybody gets to see you, get to make a name for yourself. So excited for the guys and the opportunity they have.
Yeah, this will be exciting. I mean, coming off of the last national television game against UCLA, and so kind of redeeming themselves. Obviously, I'm not comparing UCLA to Boise State, but you want to show out on national television. Everybody's watching.
Everybody, yeah. I mean, all the people you have back home, anything else. But guys, we want to hear, is there any more questions that we can answer for you guys on anything?
Oh, I mean, it looks like Nicholas has a good question. So he's asking, it looked like players got pulled from the game whenever they committed a penalty. How does that feel as a player, and how effective is that? That's a great question.
I think it's very effective. I mean, depending on the situation we're in now, obviously there's been a ton of penalties. I think everybody can agree on that been a bit undisciplined and sloppy in that area, in that aspect, especially with the personal penalties. Like I said, there's been teams I've been on, like the Patriots, if you're doing that and costing your team, potentially points, putting yourselves in bad positions, you're getting yanked out of the game. You might not have a job by the end of it unless your name's Tom Brady.
Well, that's the
right?
difference between the NFL and college.
Yeah, but I think it's effective because I like to see the coaches hold these players accountable a little bit. There's only so much you can do, but sometimes as a player, I responded well to getting yelled at sometimes, and every player's different, but when a coach cares about a player and you have a great relationship off the field, it's okay to get on your player a little bit on the field. I think a little bit of tough love is good for these guys because you're preparing them for real life.
Yeah.
You're preparing them for things that are going to happen outside of football. But you still have to have that that one snap and clear mindset and mentality. But I love that they pull them out for a game, unless you're the starting quarterback, then maybe you need to stay in.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to like you said, knowing your people. Like from a fan perspective, and from us who aren't part of the team, we can only see from the outside, and we're like, oh, that doesn't look good, or why is he yelling at him like that? But these relationships, that coach-player relationship, you guys go through things that nobody will ever know about.
Yeah, and every player is different, right? Some players you need to be on them. Other players, you need to love them up a little bit more. So it really just depends on the type of personality, and obviously as a coach, they know who they're dealing with.
Right.
They know their players. So
for you, did you have any crazy penalty, or share your experiences of
crazy penalties?
Yeah.
I haven't really had any crazy penalties per se, but
you're pretty buttoned up here.
Yeah, I think my college career went pretty good. So, but no, I mean, certainly fumbles. Obviously, you're coming off the field anyways. But I think the undisciplined ones where you see the personal fouls.
Oh, that's good.
Sometimes you need to get somebody out and have a firm talking with them.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of that. But it starts in practice, and you hope you don't carry over to the games.
And I mean, one of the things that you brought up was discipline. They just had a players-only meeting in week 3. What do you? Is it too early for that kind of thing?
No.
Obviously, it worked.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I don't
so
think it
tell
is
us.
because you want to get out ahead of it. You don't want to have a players-only meeting 8 weeks in and you've already lost 5 games. I think it's really good accountability by the leaders on the team. And that's a word that you'll always hear me say. I think it's one of the best words that anybody, it doesn't matter if you're a football player, it doesn't matter if you are flipping burgers at McDonald's and it's your first job, or you're the CEO of a major corporation here. Accountability.
Yeah.
It's so important for you to be accountable for your actions, and accountable not for your actions, but for your teammates as well, for the people in your organization. So I love the word, and I think if you really hold it true to its meaning, it can be very impactful for a team.
And I mean, for me, someone who's never been in a football locker room, what are those like? I'm just so intrigued. What happens? I want to know everything.
Oh, I mean, it depends. Yeah, it really depends who your leaders are and what type of people you have in there. But it can get emotional.
Yeah.
It's because guys care, right? So you have those leaders, and they're in there, and you have to look in the mirror. They have to look in the mirror and say, it starts with us. The coaches can only take you so far. They put us in positions to make plays. We have to make the plays. And when you see the undisciplined stuff that was taking place, where the players can correct those issues, like penalties, that's not a coach is to a certain extent.
Yes,
but that's on
it's
the
on them,
players.
yeah.
You got to be more aware of the situation and what you're doing, and how that little mishap can make a big impact in the game one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, overall, a really fun night. I think we're gearing up for a lot of more good football coming up. We won't see you guys next week.
No.
But we'll be back. Actually, we won't see you guys for 2 weeks. So we will be back against the Boise State game. That is October 12th. And so we'd like to thank Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union for sponsoring this post-game show. And thanks to everyone for joining us. For Greg Salas, I'm Cienna Pillaton. Have a great night.
See you guys.